What if? What if is one of my favorite questions, and it's a question that we don't ask ourselves quite enough. So today, we're going to be talking about what if we are unwittingly limiting the abilities of people in the workplace based on old assumptions that have been proven to be incorrect. I have a bunch of data here. Check this out. $650 billion is lost to distractions in the workplace. 778 billion is lost to it being a toxic environment. And you can read more in the post to learn all about the details on that. And the third, disengagement loses us $550 billion. So, what if we are missing the point? What if we're missing the very essence of what brings out the best in people in the workplace? And this is where I get super excited with the what ifs. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I came up with this training. I'm Courtney Starhart, and I am a traditionally trained Native American health practitioner. Okay, you've probably all heard of traditional Chinese medicine, TCM. So, we're going to call this traditional Native medicine. Okay, and yes, I'm coining the phrase. Why? Because when the Europeans arrived on this continent, they unwittingly, unknowingly spread disease across the continent that killed off 99% of the population. Okay? So colonization is never a great thing. But again, there has to be a balanced view of what happened. A lot of my ancestors died off on this continent before people even really had contact with them. So it's a fascinating thing that happened. We can talk more about history later. But what I did is when I got sick as a young mother, I went and studied with a traditional native healer. This is my book. I did 10 interviews about holistic health, consciousness, and I found out that we actually have a lot of data nowadays, especially from companies like HeartMath, about the kind of stuff that Joe Dispenza talks about. Things that are fairly commonplace now and that we are starting to understand are so important in learning how we can make the world a better place, starting with the most obvious thing, the thousands of billions of dollars that are being lost in the workplace because of wrong assumptions. Okay, when I studied with this native practitioner, he sent me out to learn about permaculture, to learn about the human body, to work with chiropractors, massage therapists, farmers, herbalists, and all kinds of different people in order to understand how the human mind body complex works. Now, you guys obviously know how a car works, right? So, first of all, you know that if your tire is blown, you're not rolling up the road. But most human beings are actually trying to get through life with a flat tire, or at the very least, wildly out of alignment. So, all of these different traditional holistic practices are philosophical systems as well, and they can be absolutely applied to the workplace. And I'm really excited about working with people in New York because there's some wonderful people out there who are holistic health practitioners, who are working in HR, and we're going to be bringing people onto this show. Yes, I will be making my own show so that in a cost effective way, we can get a lot of information from a lot of amazing people. Okay. So, the thing that these traditional holistic health systems have in common that applies to the workplace today and to everybody was because we have a body. Of course, it still applies to us. But think about it, your vehicle, your body, doesn't drive itself. What is driving the vehicle? Well, hopefully you are. But in a lot of cases, people's what I call zombie sub programs are driving. Yet again, another rabbit hole that we're going to get back to. We're going to have to get stuff out of people's way mentally so that they can be more productive. That is a different subject. Right now, we're going to talk about how you can find force by identifying and really taking control of the driver of your vehicle. I know that might sound crazy at first, but when you think about it, there's a driver in that vehicle. There is something other than just your body in here. When you find the force, you're tapping into that higher consciousness, right? That higher mental flow state. We don't have to get woo woo about it. There's a lot of data. So, HeartMath is such a wonderful company, right? And you can totally tell that they spawned with Apple, right? can tell these guys are related. It's crazy. So this is a monitor that goes onto your ear. And in the article, if you click on this, you can see the article on Substack. This guy goes on here. It monitors your brain waves. This clips onto your lapel, all right? What it does is it gives you a graph readout like I show you in the pictures in the article, and it tells you whether your brain and your heart are in alignment or not. That simple. Your brain makes waves. It emits an electromagnetic field, right? Okay. And so does your heart. The beating rhythm of your heart and the intensity of it, the quality of your brain waves, and all of this, they're making waves. And when these waves bounce off of each other and they're interfering, when you're in a state of frustration, anxiety, yada, yada, right? And there's a lot of yadas in the yadas. And if your vehicle has a blown tire because your gut health isn't right, because you're not resting, you're not exercising, you're not hydrating, you're not breathing, right? If your vehicle isn't in good shape and your brain and your heart aren't in tune, you're not going to find the force. But believe me, once you find the force and you tap into this mental flow state, you'll realize it's like opening up a panel in that car. If you've been driving this car all of your life and one day you look down and there's a hidden panel, it pops open and you can tune into a wildly more powerful state of being, okay? I call it finding the force. I like the campy Star Wars jokes too, so we can talk about Yoda. But anyway, what I'm saying is, once you plug into this higher consciousness with this hidden panel that we're going to open up for you, you will be wildly, wildly more powerful, plugged in, effective, focused, and also connected with other people. You see, because this special state of consciousness that I learned about from these different traditional practitioners from all over the world is incredible, but it only comes through the heart. You have to quiet the mind. You have to learn how to breathe properly. You drop into what we call the heart, and you have an entirely different range of access. But at the same point in time, you can't be discounting human beings and treating them like dollars and cents. You have to actually think about what makes people happy, what makes them productive is being happy. So, in order, ironically, to tap into this higher consciousness, you've got to drop into something that corporate America apparently doesn't value very much today, except for maybe HR and the staff, that we are all valuable and unique as human beings. We need to have more than enough food to take care of ourselves. We need to have roofs over our heads. We need to have good health care for our vehicle, and we need to be treated with respect. Now remember, distractions cost us 650 billion. Those top distractions are, okay, yeah, the phone. The phone is one of them. Emails, another one of them. But then number one thing that we're losing money to is the toxic work environment that most people are in just because they don't understand how to connect with each other and talk to each other. So I am incredibly excited. Oh, that the third one that are brain eaters in the workplace is disengagement, because people are disenchanted, disengaged, right? So if we engage people, if we give them a healthy environment, if we give them a reasonable structure for a day, say we're not working 60 minutes of every hour. What if we're working 40 minutes of every hour, but we're working really well? What if we have a no distraction zone? There are millions of different ways that we can organize. And that's the thing that I love to do the most, is going into organizations and asking them these questions like, hey, what would be good for your staff and your people? Because a lot of times people haven't even dialogued about it. The people at the top, okay, are disconnected from the people who are doing the work a lot of times. And often HR is put in the middle, trying to make everything right for everyone, just like holistic health doctors and all of that. We often feel stretched because we're trying to help people, but the parameters that we're dealt are really toxic to our ability to be well, be high performance, and really connect with each other. So we want to engage people by asking the right questions and giving people the opportunity to really talk about the work environment and what would make them happy, healthy, and productive. Okay? So I know there's some crazy numbers, 650 billion distractions, 778 billion to toxic environment. Wouldn't it be easier to just be nice to people and pay them right? And disengagement. People are mad, okay? So I guess this is funny, not funny, but I want you to know that we'll be bringing people on to Find the Force into our little podcast here. We have more than 10,000 viewers on Substack, and we're building this out on LinkedIn and on YouTube so that we can serve the population, all right? The way to step into your superpowers is actually by caring about other people. I hope it doesn't sound too cheesy, but what if? Let's go back to it. What if we were actually wired to be good to each other, and we'll never ever be at our best until we do that? Okay? Lots of love from your traditional native medicine practitioner and productivity consultant. Bye for now.